Chapter 471. Wolf King, are you crazy? Kill. Yin Tianji shouted to in an instant. Yin tribe's Gu masters starting attacking, using an assortment of moves. Water flow, starfire, white bone, firebird, all sorts of attacks were unleashed and targeted Water Demon. Bright rainbow color lights soon shone on Water Demon's face. These attacks were eye-catching and dazzling. They were like fireworks in the night sky, beautiful and lethal. Water Demon was in a dangerous situation, but he did not dodge or evade. Instead, he showed a cold smile in his eyes. A piercing, eerie light burst out. The light was shining brightly as it stunned a Yin tribe elder in front of Water Demon. This Yin tribe elder grimaced as he felt his vision blurring. This was Water Demon, activating the rank 3 sight blow Gu. His gaze had a strong attack and could bypass defensive measures, directly attacking the Gu master's soul. Yin tribe elder who was attacked took 3 steps back, trying to regain his composure, but a mere rank 3 sight blow Gu could only be used as a surprise attack. It caused little damage to Yin tribe elder. It could not change this dangerous situation around for Water Demon. But Water Demon's lips curled into a cold smile. He activated his rank for yellow gold primeval essence, injecting it into one of the Gu in his aperture. Rank 4. Location swap Gu. Swoosh. With a light sound, Water Demon Hao Ji Lu's body vanished and reappeared at Yin tribe elder's location. As an exchange, the Yin tribe elder who was attacked appeared at his original location. Oh no! Oh no, quickly stop! Yin tribe's Gu masters shouted. Such a change caught them off guard. They were greatly shocked. They wanted to hold back on their attacks, but the attacks were already formed. They could not be stopped. That Yin tribe elder was scared out of his wits. He frantically activated his defensive Gu, but this Gu only lasted for half a breath's time before dying. Academy elder. Yin tribe leader Yin Tianji shouted, seeing his tribesmen dying in front of him, engulfed by the assortment of attacks, beaten to a pulp. Haha, great, great. It seems that Yin tribe Gu masters are all dumb pigs. You actually killed yourselves. Ha ha. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu laughed as he raised his head, saying in a mocking tone, Water Demon, Yin tribe will be enemies with you for all eternity. Hao Ji Lu, I will tear your tendons apart to relieve this anger in me. Kill, tear this demon to shreds. Yin tribe Gu masters shouted angrily, their necks turning red from agitation. But even though they shouted loudly, none of them attacked. Water Demon had a rank 4 location swap Gu. This was beyond their expectations. Rank 4 location swap Gu was a unique movement Gu. One had to make contact with the other party in order to swap locations. But the use of the Gu worm not only depended on suitability, but also its compatibility with other Gu worms. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu used the rank 3 sight blow Gu together with the location swap Gu. As long as his gaze attack works, it means he made contact with the other party, and he could use the location swap Gu using this exploit. Hao Ji Lu had such a Gu worm, he was not afraid of fighting a crowd. This was why he dared to challenge the entire Yin tribe higher-ups, kidnapping Yin tribe's big Missy Yin Shui heir and extorting Yin tribe. Although there were many Yin tribe Gu masters, the Academy elder just died in front of them. Everyone was lost and did not have any confidence at the moment. Water Demon. So what if you have location swap Gu? This Gu causes intense primeval essence expenditure. How many times can you still use it? I'll tell you. We invited the righteous hero Wolf King Changshan In who had just returned. You are now surrounded by the wolf group. There is nowhere to run. At the crucial moment, Yin Tianji stood up. His words were like a tranquilizer that stabilized the people. Wolf King Changshan In? Hao Ji Lu's gaze concentrated on Fang Yuan who was sitting on his wolf. Fang Yuan had a broad shoulder and thin waist. His gaze was sharp and divine. He rode the hump wolf as he was surrounded by wolves, like he was standing at the top of a mountain. Although he was silent, he gave Hao Ji Lu a strong sense of pressure. Wolf King Changshan In, I have heard of your name since I was young. You are not dead. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu concentrated on guarding against the Yin tribe Gu masters as he tried probing Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was a little more than 300 steps away from Water Demon. He observed him from far away with a plain expression. Water Demon's heart shook. Although the sight blow Gu had a wide attack range and could attack anyone who could be seen with his eyes, the further the distance, the weaker the attack would be. A distance of 300 steps was the limit of the sight blow goo, and it had zero threat once the target was further than 300 steps away. Fang Yuan's location made Water Demon very uncomfortable. This was a very peculiar distance. If Water Demon moved a step out, he could hit Fang Yuan, but it felt like Fang Yuan was trying to trick him into doing so. Hao Ji Lu's heart felt greater pressure. If this person really is Chang Shanin, I cannot use the sight blow goo to attack him. Sight-based attacks compete the souls of both goo masters. As an enslavement path goo master, his soul is definitely extremely strong. Are you really Chang Shanin? What evidence do you have? Humph. Your Yin tribe randomly brought one person to impersonate the Wolf King. Do you think I am a fool? Hao Ji Lu purposely snorted. Yin Tianji laughed coldly. Water Demon, you really failed to recognize Mount Tai. Is the Wolf King so easy to impersonate? When we battle later, you will feel the Wolf King's true power. Lord Chang Shanin, it is up to you. Kill this Water Demon. Get rid of a great threat to the people. The other Yin tribe elders shouted, trying to make Fang Yuan fight for them. Fang Yuan sat on the wolf back, looking around. When he saw that his wolf group was at their planned location and encircled this battlefield completely, he knew the time was ripe. His lips curled, revealing a cold and callous smile that he nodded slightly, the killing intent surging in his eyes. Indeed, you reminded me. It is time to strike. As he said that, the wolves howled as they opened their bloodthirsty mouths, flashing their sharp claws and teeth as they charged relentlessly. In an instant, 10,000 wolves attacked, and starting killing the goo masters. The Grand Army caused everyone's expressions to change. Chang Shanin, what are you doing? How can you attack us? Yin Tianji shouted furiously, while feeling shocked and suspicious. Quickly stop. We are on the same side. Wolf King, are you crazy? You dare to attack us? Our Yin tribe and your Chang tribe had already submitted to young Master Lu Wenwu. The other elders blocked the wolves as they shouted frantically. That is exactly why I am dealing with you all. Go in peace. I will send the Chang tribesmen to accompany you soon enough. Fang Yuan said hatefully, his face distorting into a maniacal expression. Soon after, he shouted, Humph, I swore long ago. I will take revenge for what happened back then one by one. Back then, when Chang Shanin fought Hatu Gu and the bandits alone, Chang tribe did not send a single person to help him. There were hidden reasons after all. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu felt his heart jump as he thought of something. He did not expect such a huge change. He dodged the wolves' attacks as he shouted anxiously, Wolf King, I do not wish to be your enemy. The enemy of an enemy is a friend, right? Fang Yuan gave him a cold glance, saying lightly, Look at you jumping all over the place. You are simply like a flea. Just die together with them. Chapter 472. Power of the Enslavement Path. What? Water Demon Hao Ji Lu was furious. Ever since he started traveling the world, no one had dared to make such remarks about him or showed such contempt. Wolf King, you were too arrogant. Today, I shall make you pay the price for it. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu roared furiously and pushed forward with his palms. Rank 4, Waterfall Goo. His primeval essence poured crazily into the goo, causing water vapor to fill the air, then with a rumbling sound. An enormous water stream appeared out of nowhere. The water stream was incomparably fast, just like a waterfall crashing down from a high altitude. The light silver rapid stream brought with it an intense chilly might as it fiercely struck the wolf group. In an instant, over 1,000 wolves died or were injured. The rapid stream spread far away, thoroughly clearing the area around Haojiu. At the same time, Yin tribe's goo masters jointly activated a goo worm. This was a rank 5 wind barrier goo, and when activated, it formed an enormous wind. The wind was silky, and brought with it some green threads as it surrounded everyone. The wolf group's assault was all blocked by the formless wind. The wild goo on many wolf kings attacked the wind barrier, but it was like a pebble falling into a sea as the attacks vanished without trace. How can this be? On Crescent Lake, Yin Shui Air, who was taken as a hostage, looked at the intense battle on the lakeside with a dumbfounded look. She had never expected the situation would develop in such a way. She, who had been the main reason of the fight previously, was now a spectator instead. Humpwolves retreated, pulling distance from Fang Yuan and Water Demon Hao Ji Lu. Idiots. Fang Yuan sneered as he looked at Water Demon Hao Ji Lu charging over, approaching closer, and Yin tribesmen who were in a defensive formation. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu and Yin Tribe leader Yin Tianji were two rank 4 Gu masters. Moreover, there were also Yin Tribe's higher-ups, a dozen or so rank 3 Gu masters. Their strength could be said to be truly formidable. However, an enslavement path Gu master's strength was the ability to fight an army alone. Back then, Chang Shan-in led his wolf group and battled higher realm experts, not only killing rank 5 Gu master Hatu Gu, but even exterminating Hatu Gu's group of valiant generals. How? Because he was an enslavement path Gu master. At present, the wolf group with Fang Yuan had already taken shape to form a decent size. The wolf group scale had reached 30,000 and above. Not only did it contain 100 wolf kings and some 1,000 wolf kings, there was also a night wolf myriad beast king and a young mutated beast white eyes wolf. This scale might not even be half the size of the wolf group Chang Shan-in had at his peak period, but it was already enough to annihilate 2 to 3 Gu tribes. And right now, Fang Yuan only had to deal with just 20 or so Gu masters. It was like using an ox cleaver to kill a chicken. Sure enough, after some time, Water Demon Hao Ji Lu was gasping and his momentum gradually stopped. He felt exhausted. Damn it. Such troublesome wolf manipulation skills. There are only some 100 wolf kings and 1,000 wolf kings. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu's gaze towards Fang Yuan had already changed right now. It was not that he had not fought enslavement path Gu masters. But how could those enslavement path Gu masters he had fought before compare to Fang Yuan? Is this the Wolf King's wolf manipulation skills? Being in it is like falling into a deep swamp. You sink deeper and deeper. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu's heart turned cold as he kept on warding off the wolf group's assault. He divided a bit of concentration to look into his aperture and grumbled. That intense charge and the activation of many powerful abilities to clear the path had caused his primeval essence to be expended intensely. Now there was less than half his total primeval essence left. Once the primeval essence was at the point of exhaustion, a Gu master's battle strength would start plummeting to the abyss. How? Ji Lu had no choice but to exercise restraint once he considered this to be a long battle. Like this, his momentum thoroughly disappeared and he was firmly surrounded by the wolf group. Water Demon Hao Ji Lu, a rank 4 Gu master who uses water path Gu worms, has great offense and is an expert at fighting one against many. He roamed all over northern plains since his early years and has committed many crimes, gaining a bad reputation. After capturing Yin Shui Air and successfully extorting Yin Tribe, he then went on to participate in the Heroes' Assembly, offering Yin Shui Air to He Lu Lan. He Lu Lan was joyous and gave him great status. After entering Wang Ting Blessed Land and making great merits, Hao Ji Lu became He Lu Lan's number 3 general. Fang Yuan recalled the relevant memories, his gaze flickering faintly. In his past life, this Hao Ji Lu was also able to make a name for himself, and after living actively for 89 years, he was killed by Chang Shan-in. Great offense usually means a huge consumption of primeval essence. Hao Ji Lu is nothing to worry about anymore, and right now, he should be secretly making an escape path for himself. He is good at escaping in water. It will not be easy to make him stay today. After all, there are not many water wolves with me. But my main target is not him, but Yin Tribe's Gu masters. Fang Yuan turned his gaze towards the Yin tribesmen. Yin Tribe's Gu masters were experts in defense and were famous for it in northern plains. These Gu masters sure enough defended extremely well. Their rank 5 wind barrier Gu was simply like a tortoise shell, firmly protecting everyone within it. These Yin tribesmen are really naive. They still have the intention to protect their energy and watch from the sidelines when they are trapped. No wonder, history said Yin Tianji was extremely conservative, lacking initiative. Even though they want to stall for time, this is also exactly what I want. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly and intentionally slowed down the wolf group's offense. As time passed, Hao Ji Lu and the Yin tribesmen's primeval essence were also being depleted. Suddenly, a large group of shadows emerged from the woods. Lord Chang Shan-in. We have arrived. Gu Tribe's current tribe leader Gu Guang arrived with Gu Tribe's Gu masters behind him. You came quite fast. Fang Yuan indifferently glanced at him with a profound meaning. Ge Guang seemed to be pierced by the profound light in Fang Yuan's eyes as he unconsciously lowered his head and thought with reverence. This is the true heroic nature of the Wolf King. I didn't think I would see it today. Yes, after receiving Lord's letter, we immediately hurried over. People need to repay favors. Lord, you have helped our Gu Tribe time and again. Lord's hatred is our Gu Tribe's hatred too. Gu Guang immediately answered. It would not have been good for Fang Yuan to make a move at Gu Tribe camp. Thus, he agreed to Yin Tribe on the surface. After gathering all the wolves, he used a goo worm to send a letter when they were halfway to the lake. When Gu Guang received the letter and read it, his face was immediately filled with shock and horror. Lord Chang Shan wants to attack the whole Yin tribe? He could not help but cry out on the spot. Stabilizing his emotions, he continued reading and saw Fang Yuan's reason for it. Turned out that back then, Chang Shanyin's mother had been secretly poisoned, and Chang Shanyin entered deep into poison grassland to search for the goo worm that could detoxify the poison. On his way, he was ambushed by Hatu Gu and his group of experts. The whole matter was a sinister plot. It was due to internal conflict in Chang tribe and a move to suppress Chang Shan Yin. Fang Yuan's past life, after Chang Shanyin was saved by Ma Hongyun. He did not return to his tribe but instead joined Ma Hongyun. It was also because of this reason. Later, after Chang Shanyin helped Ma Hongyun ascend to the position of Lord of the Imperial Court, he targeted Chang tribe, getting rid of all the Chang tribe higher-ups. He then became Chang tribe leader and took revenge for what happened back then. Now, Fang Yuan was using this reason to deal with Yin tribe and persuade Gu Guang. Ge tribe originally had ties of friendship with Chang tribe. When old Gu tribe leader had first met Fang Yuan, he had said that his second daughter was married in Chang tribe. But after Gu Guang read the letter, he immediately made a decision to stand with Fang Yuan. Gu Guang, you have matured. Gu tribe will prosper under your rule. Fang Yuan lightly commented while sitting on a wolf, then waved his hand. You don't need to move in this battle. It will be enough for you guys to make a tight encirclement. Remember that every Yin tribe elder that we block means a higher chance of success when we attack Yin tribe camp. Yes, Junior shall listen to Wolf King's instruction. Gu Guang agreed and brought the group of Gu masters to outside the battlefield, forming an encirclement formation. Seeing Gu tribe Gu masters coming over to reinforce Fang Yuan, Yin tribe Gu masters were shocked and furious. Gu Guang, you despicable, shameless scoundrel. A Yin tribe elder shouted furiously. Gu tribe, you have made a wrong decision. Making our Yin tribe your enemy means you are going against young Master Lu Wenwu. None of you will have a good end. Another elder cursed. Ge Guang sneered, his heart filled with disdain. Bringing out Lu tribe's name when their death was imminent. Was there any use? We cannot wait any longer. We need to charge and break through. Yin tribe elders realized the severity of the situation as they shouted with ashen expressions. Go. Yin tribesmen charged together, attempting to carve out a blood path. Pill Fire Gu, Gold Silkworm Gu, Frost Breath Gu, Snowball Gu, Tornado Gu, Thunderclap Gu, Fire Claw Gu, and other Gu were activated one after another. Fire and snow continually shot out. Golden Silkworm turned into a light ray and charged. Blue Frost Breath was breathed out. Tornado caused havoc. Thunder rumbled in all directions. Flames formed into claws and attacked. Under this fierce assault from Yin tribe's Gu masters, Fang Yuan's wolf group suffered heavy injuries, but they moved forward unceasingly, coming waves after waves disregarding their death. These Gu masters might be experts among mortals, formed from rank 3 and rank 4. But so what? Fang Yuan maneuvered the wolf group while sitting on a wolf. He had Wolfman's soul, which made it a lot easier for him to maneuver these wolf group than when he had 100-man's soul. It was as smooth as a wolf king personally commandeering them. Fang Yuan's expression did not change at the sight of the wolves dying like flies. He remained aloof and indifferent. These wolves were only ordinary wild beasts. If they died, then so be it. There was no heartache over it. Instead, using them as cannon fodder to wear down these Gu masters' primeval essence would be a great beneficial deal. The weakness of these Yin tribe Gu masters was their lone numbers. Although they were experts, they lacked subordinates to share the pressure of the battlefield. The battle was already in Fang Yuan's control and was moving in his intended direction. They simply did not have time to calm down and recover their primeval essence. Terrifying, there is actually such a fearsome wolf manipulation skill in this world. A Yin tribe's elder said with ashen face. Could it be that we are going to die like this? The aura of death was already pouncing upon them. Chang Shanyin, by killing us, are you not afraid young Master Lu Wenwu would take revenge? An elder was hoping to pressure Fang Yuan. Charge, don't stop. Yin Tianji shouted. His voice had already become hoarse and his primeval essence was less than half of his total amount. Chapter 473, Righteous Path Hero. It is time. Fang Yuan willed, as the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King brought over a dozen Night Wolf Thousand Beast Kings and entered the battle, blocking the Yin tribe Gu masters. Under the wolf group's attacks, Yin tribe suffered their first death. Wolf Howl Gu. Fang Yuan howled at the sky, crying like a wolf as his voice spread far and wide, increasing the wolf group's battle strength. wolf smoke gu. Immediately after, he emitted dense smoke that engulfed the battlefield, healing the wolves' injuries. Yin tribe were shocked. Water demon Hao Ji Lu's face became pale and white. Earlier, Fang Yuan merely dispatched his wolves. Now that he joined in, he turned to advantage into a victory. Tints of hateful, frightened, furious, and icy gazes shot towards Fang Yuan. Under everyone's stare, Fang Yuan smiled lightly as he moved backwards with the hump wolf, pulling some distance from Yin tribe's gang. To prevent the beheading the leader tactic, Fang Yuan had many wolves around him. He even had a white-eyes wolf. Although it had not matured yet, it still surpassed ordinary 100 wolf kings in terms of battle strength. Seeing Fang Yuan's movement, the trapped Gu masters felt their hearts sinking as their spirits dampened. They had a feeling of being captured by a demon and had no way to escape. Time continued to pass. Yin tribe Gu masters seemed to have fallen into a swamp as they sank deeper as they struggled. Fang Yuan had used cannon fodder wolves earlier to expend their primeval essence. The effect was starting to show. Yin tribe elders died in battle one by one, as a sad and angry atmosphere took over the battlefield. Chang Shanin, I will not let you off even as a ghost. An elder screamed, cursing before his death, but this curse only made Fang Yuan scoff coldly in his heart. You have no chance to be a ghost. Your soul will become fertilizer for Dang Han Mountain. Wolf King, fight me alone if you dare. Yin tribe's battle hall elder screamed. Come, you coward, you chicken. He tried to provoke Fang Yuan, using the last drop of his primeval essence to charge at Fang Yuan for the final time. Fang Yuan looked at him expressionlessly as he willed. The wolves charged over like a wave and ripped the battle hall elder to shreds even before he got near. As the wolves dispersed, his broken corpse remained on the ground. His bones were showing as blood poured out. His furious eyes were staring wide towards the air. Battle hall elder, Yin Tianji growled. His body was trembling. With the sacrifice of each elder, an intense pain assaulted his heart every time. He was turning numb from the anguish. Chang Shanin, you will die a painful death. In spite of being a righteous hero, you actually assaulted your comrades. You will not have a good ending. Young Master Luwen will take revenge for us. Yin Tianji's face was full of hatred, his expression twisting into an ugly sight. If it was possible, he would love to eat Fang Yuan's flesh and drink his blood. Humph. The curses of a loser is just like the whimpering of a dog before death. Entrusting your hopes of revenge to others, that is a weakling's mentality. Fang Yuan evaluated coldly before waving his hand, as the Night Wolf Myriad Beast King burst out like a dark lightning, sending Yin Tianji flying. Yin Tianji's primeval essence was expended after this blow. Almost all his bones were broken. He was like a kite with its strings cut, flying far away and drawing an arc of red blood in the air. When he landed, his entire body was smashed as he no longer breathed. Lord Guguang led a band of elders as he hurried over. Wolf King is mighty. After this battle, Yin tribe's higher-ups were all exterminated. There was only one rank 3 elder left in Yin tribe camp. The letter Gu that Yin Tianji sent out was obstructed by us. Yin tribe has no idea what just happened now. It is a good time to assault them. Gu tribe's battle hall elder shouted. It is a pity that water demon Hao Ji Lu escaped. Lord Wolf King, do you think we should chase after water demon or take down Yin tribe camp? Guguang asked. Fang Yuan smiled indifferently. Of course we attack Yin tribe camp. A clam Gu spun its body as it dived in Crescent Lake rapidly. Swoosh! The clam drilled out of the water surface as its shells opened. Shoot out 2 people who were inside. They were a male and a female. The male was water demon Hao Ji Lu, and the female was Yin tribe's big missy Yin Chui Air. Huff huff huff. Hao Ji Lu's breathed roughly as he looked behind with lingering fear. He only relaxed after seeing there was no one chasing him. This was a floating island on Crescent Lake. When Hao Ji Lu was scouting the area, he chose this as his third route to escape. Wolf King Chang Shan Ain. Hao Ji Lu muttered this name in his heart. Hatred, anguish, fear, and shock were flashing in his eyes as he showed a complex expression. Until now, he had never faced such a huge loss. With rank 4 upper stage cultivation, he could roam northern plains freely. But today, he met Fang Yuan and felt an unprecedented weakness, helplessness, and loneliness. This is the strength of an enslavement pathgu master? This is not even his peak condition. Back then, Chang Shan-in could kill Hatu-gu, who was a realm higher than him, and exterminate the entire group of bandits. How great was his strength back then? Hao Ji Lu thought about this as he felt difficulty in breathing. Fang Yuan's wolf manipulation skills made him think of Jiang Baoya, Yang Pring, and Ma Zun. It seems that among the first-rate enslavement masters in Northern Plains, there would no longer be just 3 people, but it would be a contest among 4. Luckily, he did not have many waterwolves with him. Otherwise, I would be dead meat today. Thinking of the dangerous scene when he escaped for his life, Hao Ji-lu felt a great fear. But why do I have the feeling that Chang Shanin purposely gave me a way out? Hao Ji-lu was a vigilant person. When he recalled the scene, he felt a sense of suspicion. A pity that Yin tribe's higher-ups were all killed by Chang Shanin. I can no longer extort them. But forget about that. I have already obtained backwater battle goo. This trip was a success. Now, I should follow my original plan and escort this Yin tribe Missy to young Master He Lulan as a gift. Thinking so, Hao Ji-lu's eyes shone with brilliance. The 10-year blizzard of Northern Plains, it was a huge challenge even for lone traveling demonic goo masters. But with the lack of resources, Hao Ji-lu wanted to use the Heroes' Assembly to join a certain force. If he was lucky enough to enter the Imperial Court, not only will Hao Ji-lu keep his life, his cultivation would even go a step further. There were a few favorite candidates in this contest to be the Lord of the Imperial Court. Hao Ji-lu thought about it and decided to bet on the most popular person, young Master He Lulan. He Lulan's lecherous nature was known to all. If Hao Ji-lu gave Yin Shui heir to him, he would be handsomely rewarded. Yin Shui heir was not only beautiful like a flower, she also had a special identity, the fiancée of young Master Lu Wenwu. And Lu Wenwu was one of He Lulan's fiercest competitors in this contest for the Imperial Court. Making your archenemy's fiancé part of your harem, this was an irresistible temptation to He Lulan. If Yin tribe was still around, this gift would be extremely importantly. Unfortunately, after Wolf King killed Yin tribe's higher-ups, he would definitely deal with Yin tribe. Thinking of this, Hao Ji-lu gave a mocking gaze at the dazed Yin Shui heir. Whistling Dottie made fun of her. Little beauty, you have to thank me. If I did not save you, you would have died in the hands of Chang Shanin. Yin Shui heir's thick brows moved as she seemed to have woken up from a nightmare. What do you mean? Humph. What meaning is there? Chang Shanin killed your father and all the elders with him. He will definitely take over Yin tribe. The wolf group must be on their way to Yin tribe camp already. He, you were a young missy, but now, you're going to be alone soon. No way. Yin Shui heir shook her head. Her expression was pale. She tried her best to deny it, but her logic told her that Hao Ji-lu's conjecture was accurate. Chang Shanin is a great righteous hero. How could he do something like this? She refused to face such a cruel reality. Her tears fell like pearls as they flowed down her cheeks, onto the ground. The crying of a beauty, the weeping of a lady, it was a painful scene. Righteous hero? Hao Ji-lu sneered. Sometimes, righteous heroes are more terrifying than us demonic path cultivators. I only kidnapped you and extorted your tribe, but when Chang Shanin strikes, he would destroy and devour your tribe. The worst thing is, he has a proper reason to do so, claiming he is taking revenge. He is the ultimate victor. Once Yin tribe is gone, who can rebuke him? Humph. This is the truth of this dog's hit world. Yin Shui heir was in shock as she listened. Suddenly she kneeled on the ground as she grabbed Hao Ji-lu's pants, begging, Please save my Yin tribe. My father's letter goo were all blocked. Yin tribe is without a leader now, and have no clue what is coming. They don't know the danger waiting for them. The world was wondrous and cruel. Yin Shui heir had never thought that one day she would kneel down on the ground and beg the enemy she had hated the most. My father is dead. I am Yin tribe's next leader. Hao Ji-lu, help me. Send a letter for me and inform them. As long as Yin tribe remains, I am Yin tribe leader. I can decide on this and make you Yin tribe's external elder. All of our resources will be yours to use. Yin Shui heir gave her side of the deal. The words made water demon Hao Ji-lu's heart jump. External elder? Yin tribe's resources. It was a good suggestion. But when Fang Yuan's figure appeared in Hao Ji-lu's mind, he shuddered. Humph. You dare to tempt me? His expression changed as he gave Yin Shui heir a tight slap. Yin Shui heir grabbed her face as her tears fell, completely stunned by this as she looked at Hao Ji-lu blankly. Don't worry, I have already found a good partner for you. He. Hao Ji-lu laughed as he grabbed Yin Shui heir, tossing her into the clam goo. The large clam shells closed as Hao Ji-lu stepped on the water surface, giving the shore one last look. At Yin tribe camp's position. There were huge fires as smoke rose into the air. Yin tribe is finished. Hao Ji-lu was gloating, but he also felt a chill in his heart. This world worked on the survival of the fittest. There is one mountain higher than a mountain, and a person stronger than another person. Yin tribe was a huge force to him, but to Chang Shanin, it was just a plump, juicy meat. In the following competition for the imperial court, Northern Plains will definitely be shook as heroes and conquerors arise. I wonder how many people will lose their lives? Haji Lu sighed and exclaimed as he traveled west on the large clam. Chapter 474. Surrender. In the fire of war that spread everywhere, the wolf group surged forward with craze. The attack on Yin tribe camp had already lasted for 4 hours. Yin tribe's Gu masters were experts at defense, but because of the successful ambush and there being no leader, the Yin tribe camp was already ruined beyond recognition by now. There were broken walls everywhere along with human and wolf corpses. Brothers, hold on. We need to hold on. In the center of the camp, the remaining forces of Yin tribe stubbornly resisted. However, the wolf group surged forward with no end, and the whole defense line was already on the verge of collapse. Kill these invaders. Despicable Gu tribe, I curse your entire clan to perish. Besides these curses, there were also the weeping of the old and feeble, the women and the children. Seeing their family and friends behind them, the already exhausted Yin tribesmen squeezed out every bit of strength they could muster. In their hearts. A thought kept them going, telling them to hold up their defense, but they must defend. Behind them were their wives, children, and their parents. If they could not resist, then all their relatives would end up in the wolves' mouths. Suddenly, 1,000 Wolf King broke through the battle line and charged into the depths of the formation. No. Careful. Get away. The Gu masters at the front line roared with fury in their eyes, but it was already too late for them to rescue anyone. They could only stare as the 1,000 Wolf King opened its bloody mouth and started slaughtering the old, feeble, women, and children. Bastard. You were looking for death. At this time, a seriously injured Gu master who was lying on the ground with just one hand and one leg remaining, jumped up with a strength that God knew where it came from and threw himself into the wolf's mouth. The 1,000 Wolf King bit his waist and almost severed him into two. The Gu master foamed from his mouth and gave a desperate yet satisfied smile. He fiercely clenched the wolf's head and roared, "Evil beast, die with me." With that, he self-destructed. Blood splashed everywhere, and the 1,000 Beast King also died with him. The encircling Gu tribesmen all saw this scene. Someone sighed. Yin tribe's sons are so brave. Fang Yuan lightly nodded. Although Yin tribe did not show initiative, they were experts at defense and were extremely united. In this invasion, the number of wolves that died were truly beyond his original estimation. However, Fang Yuan did not feel any pain and snorted. What is the use even if they were to be more brave? Those defeated usually have no hope of reprieve. This is the cruelty of the struggle for imperial court. Okay, this is enough. Go ask them to surrender. These words caused the Gu tribe's Gu masters to feel a chill. If they were ever to be defeated, their tribe would be at the same state as the Yin tribe before them. However, when their gaze landed on Fang Yuan, their heart relaxed. With the Wolf King beside us, our Gu tribe has a great tree to lean on. We still need to rely on the Wolf King to lead us. The intense and fierce battlefield gradually quietened. The wolf group stopped their offense and slowly retreated, opening up a path. A Gu tribe elder moved through the path and appeared before Yin tribesmen. Yin tribesmen, surrender. The Gu tribe elder shouted loudly, Northern Plains elites are those who can adapt to circumstances. Bullshit. I shall never surrender to you shameless sneak attackers. Come, just cut my head off. Yin tribe's descendants would rather die than surrender. Some Gu masters roared furiously, but there were also some whose gaze loosened and showed hesitation. The Gu tribe elder sneered, if you don't surrender, we won't lose anything in killing you all. But shouldn't you consider your wives and children behind you? They will die a cruel death just because of your stubborn resistance. You will be the ones who harmed them. These words caused the Yin tribe's remnant forces to quieten. The chilly wind blew across everyone's faces. Those Yin tribe's Gu masters who had been roaring furiously had a sluggish expression now. They looked back, and their expressions turned soft. Only the Yin tribe elder felt extreme hatred towards Gu tribe's psychological tactics when he sensed everyone's fighting spirit crumbling. However, this discontent, when it reached his mouth, turned into a sigh. Under everyone's gazes, he walked forward and said forcibly, our Yin tribe surrenders. Lord Elder. Yin tribe's Gu masters shouted one after another. Some couldn't believe it. Some wept with grief and some felt relieved. At the same time, Gu tribe's Gu masters also rejoiced. Victory, victory. The situation is set. We have annexed Yin tribe. They were both at the same place, but their situation was as different as cloud was from mud. Gather the troops and clean up the battlefield. Gu Guang also had a joy he could hardly contain on his face. Considering their strength, Gu tribe was below Yin tribe, But they were able to swallow this big force in one move. As long as we digest these war spoils, our good tribe's strength will increase by 3 times, even surpassing the strength we had back at Hong Yin Valley. This is all thanks to Lord Changshanyin. Guguang could not help looking at Fang Yuan when he thought of this. Truthfully, Guguang had hesitated when he received Fang Yuan's letter, but this hesitation was only for an instant before it turned into resolution. The fact had proved his choice was a correct one. If I had refused the Wolf King back then, I'm afraid our good tribe would have had the same ending as the Yin tribe. Guguang's reverence towards Fang Yuan deepened by another level. Fang Yuan sized up the whole Yin tribe camp from above the hump wolf. There were broken debris everywhere. Fire still lingered, corpses littered the place, and blood dyed the ground red. All the Yin tribesmen who were hiding were searched and arrested. Yin tribe's gu masters were tied with manacles and leg irons, their gu worms seized and their primeval essence locked as they were taken as captives and were strictly watched. Fang Yuan's expression was tranquil. He had seen such situations many times. In the Great Battle of 5 Regions in his previous life, the situation had been much more bitter and terrifying than this. Yin tribe is annihilated. Next is the Heroes' Assembly. Before this, I need to return to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. I also need to go to Langya Blessed Land once, if my luck is good. 3 days later, it was a night where many stars filled the sky. Fang Yuan led the wolf group and came upon a remote area. He first used moving perspective cup gu to communicate with little Hu Immortal, then used Stargate gu to return back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. This time, thousands of wolves entered with him. These wolves were either injured or old with weak battle strength. Ordinary enslavement path gu master's only choice, in this case, would be to sacrifice them as cannon fodder in battle to stop them from consuming more rations. However, Fang Yuan possessed a blessed land and thus had a better option, that was to breed them. These wild wolves can reproduce at the blessed land, and several months later, they should be able to give birth to wolf cubs. Fang Yuan moved this wolf group to the western part of the blessed land. In this world, the wild beast ability to reproduce were very strong, adding on to the Hu Immortal Blessed Land's 6 times faster time flow than northern plains. Fang Yuan's troops would from now on be self-replenished. With this, Hu Immortal Blessed Land's western part became the wolf group's farming land. The northern part was almost completely cut off by Fang Yuan. Eastern part was covered with dark clouds along with tins of lakes which filled the air with moisture, and the southern part was the Stoneman's homeland. In the center was Dang Hun Mountain, which was gradually dying after being struck by gruel mud goo. Master, I have already settled down the starlight worms according to your instructions. Come take a look. Little Hu Immortal was extremely happy at seeing Fang Yuan again, and dragged Fang Yuan to the eastern part of the blessed land. Master, look up. Little Hu Immortal said with a delicate voice. Fang Yuan looked up at the sky and saw a large expanse of light blue color clouds. Threads of starlight shone down like a dreamy gauze and shook gently with the breeze. The scene was very beautiful, as if it was carved out of a painting. Fang Yuan looked carefully and discovered these clouds were not originally blue color, but rather a large number of star fragment grass were planted on them. Star fragment grass were deep blue in color, and starlight fireflies fluttered among the grass, shining with specks of light. Moreover, among the starlight fireflies were starlight firefly gu that blossomed with true starlight radiance. Not bad. Fang Yuan evaluated. Little Hu Immortal immediately squinted her eyes in happiness, rubbing her small head against Fang Yuan's hand, and said with her delicate voice, Master, pat me. Fang Yuan lightly smiled and rubbed Little Hu Immortal's head. Little Hu Immortal's long snowy tail immediately curled. The 2 furry ears on her head also lowered gently, and her face reddened in happiness. Fang Yuan had bought many star fragment grass from Treasure Yellow Heaven. However, the grass was extremely peculiar and could not be planted on any mortal soil, only on clouds. When they had transacted, Fairy Yao Guang had suggested Fang Yuan to buy cloud soil to raise star fragment grass. But Fang Yuan did not take her suggestion because there were enormous scale of dark clouds in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. These dark clouds were created from the water and fire collision when Fang Yuan eradicated the earthly calamities effects. The dark clouds did not dissipate and covered the eastern part of Hu Immortal Blessed Land, and was a problem that was neither big nor small. It had been obstructing light for a long time and was affecting the whole eastern part's ecology. However, now, Fang Yuan used it to plant star fragment grass and turned this calamity into fortune. Not only was it making use of trash, but it also saved Fang Yuan a lot of expenses in buying large amounts of cloud soil. At present, Large plots of star fragment grass were already growing on the dark clouds. The starlight firefly worms lived among them, filling the whole eastern land with beautiful starlight. As long as I properly cultivate these star fragment grass, there will be guarantee in the reproduction of the starlight firefly worms. In future, there will be much more starlight firefly goo to use. If the cultivation raises to an optimum level and there is a surplus of starlight firefly goo, I can put them at treasure yellow heaven to sell. In the battle of 5 great regions, starlight firefly worms will be one of the goo worms with most demand. Fang Yuan slightly looked forward to the beautiful future, before returning to Dang Hun Mountain with Little Hu Immortal. Standing at the peak of the mountain, he grabbed the soul burial toad goo. When he besieged Yin tribe's higher-ups and during the whole process of attacking Yin tribe camp, he had been using the soul burial toad to collect the souls on the battlefield. He released all the souls from the soul burial toad. These pitiful souls had just exited when they were shaken up by the mystical power of Dang Hun Mountain and were turned into the purest nutrient, nourishing the whole Dang Hun Mountain. Tomorrow, Dang Hun Mountain will again be filled with guts goo. Fang Yuan nodded his head with satisfaction. Gathering large numbers of souls was one of the reasons why he killed Yin tribe. Tonight, it is time for me to break through to rank 5. Fang Yuan's cultivation did not receive any suppression when he got back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. He was at true rank 4 peak stage. He had already stayed at rank 4 peak stage for a long time. And with his current A-grade aptitude, it was time to challenge the boundaries of rank 5 realm. Chapter 475, Soaring Cultivation. Rumble. The 90% primeval sea in the aperture surged with high waves, and true gold primeval essence shone brightly on the aperture walls. The aperture walls were also extraordinary, sparkling and clear like crystals, containing life force in them. This was the crystal membrane of rank 4 peak stage realm. Waves continually surged, reaching towards the sky. Then, they crashed towards the crystal membrane wave after waves. At first, the crystal membrane was like the reef of a sea, being unmovable. But it gradually became unable to endure the fierce waves and cracks started appearing. As time passed, bigger cracks appeared. The primeval sea slowly reduced, while the crystal membrane was full of cracks and appeared extremely fragile. However, there was still a little distance left from breakthrough. Fang Yuan was sitting cross-legged on the bed with both his eyes closed, and almost all his attention was on the aperture. He possessed 90% aptitude, which was classified as a grade, and also had very deep accumulation. He could break through to rank 5 realm just by relying on his own strength. Right now, there was about 20% left of the primeval sea. The sea waves had also weakened and was getting to the point of being tranquil, but suddenly, as if it was accumulating its strength, a huge wave erupted out of the true gold primeval sea. This wave was fierce and majestic, surpassing any of the waves from before. It was like a tsunami, soaring up and then fiercely smashing towards the aperture walls. Boom, a soft sound echoed, and the aperture walls were finally unable to bear the pressure. They were smashed into pieces by this enormous wave. The shattered fragments of the crystal aperture walls were like a broken ice mountain, and as they fell into the sea they turned into pure essence before slowly melting down. After a while, the fragments on the crystal walls had all fallen down, leaving behind a light membrane that covered everything. The light membrane was dazzling with very powerful aura, far surpassing the rank 4 peak stage crystal wall. This was the appearance of a true rank 5 initial stage. Following it, a trace of light purple primeval essence appeared in the depths of the sea. Rank 1 Goo Masters had green copper primeval essence, Rank 2 had red iron primeval essence, Rank 3 had white silver primeval essence, Rank 4 had yellow gold primeval essence, and Rank 5 was purple crystal primeval essence. Although it was only a thread of light purple, it was a qualitative difference. From now on, Fang Yuan's primeval essence would be light purple primeval essence. Since my rebirth, I have wandered around everywhere, drifting miserably. Yet now I am finally a rank 5 Goo Master. Inside Dang Hun Palace, Fang Yuan slowly opened his eyes and sighed with joy. Rank 5 Goo Masters were the lords in this mortal world, the true peak stage. Those who could cultivate to this stage were not even 1 in 10,000. If it were others, they might have already become wild with joy. However, Fang Yuan had already experienced this in his previous life. Right now, rather than ecstasy, what he felt was joy towards his future prospects. Compared to my previous life, being able to enter rank 5 at such a young age is truly a success. Fang Yuan was only 30, and so at present, Cultivating to rank 5 at this age was a performance that would only be seen in the absolute top geniuses of the 5 great regions, but rank 5 is not my end point. It is only a starting point. Next, I need to once again advance to Gu Immortal. Those genius Gu masters would feel some hesitation when they talked about charging to Gu Immortal realm. However, Fang Yuan had his previous life's experiences, thus he had plenty of confidence in advancing to Gu Immortal realm. After becoming a Gu Immortal, the deadly crisis from Spring-Autumn Cicada can be completely resolved. Fang Yuan looked at Spring-Autumn Cicada. Since this rebirth, Spring-Autumn Cicada had fallen into deep hibernation, continually absorbing the water from River of Time and recuperating. Right now, it had already mostly recovered and a faint pressure was filling Fang Yuan's aperture. For a long time now, Spring-Autumn Cicada was like a guillotine hovering above Fang Yuan's neck. As time passed, this enormous guillotine would move closer towards his neck. Spring-Autumn Cicada gave Fang Yuan an enormous death threat, forcing him to risk dangers and do everything he could to advance his cultivation. Only by reaching the rank 6 Gu Immortal realm could Fang Yuan's aperture be able to store Spring-Autumn Cicada. At that time, Fang Yuan would have more freedom and leisure, and not be so repressed like now. Light purple primeval essence continually appeared in the aperture. Settling down below the remaining gold primeval essence, Fang Yuan gathered his concentration and slowly stood up, walking out of the secret room and into another room. There were several large vats in this room. There was green liquid in the vats and a purple crystal relic goo was floating on each liquid. There were 6 purple crystal relic goo. Most of them had been purchased by Fang Yuan or Little Hu Immortal from Treasure Yellow Heaven. Purple crystal relic goo could raise a rank 5 Gu master's cultivation. Fang Yuan had paid a considerable price for them. Fang Yuan only required 3 purple crystal relic goo to raise his cultivation to the peak stage. But right now, he looked at the vats with various liquids. One vat had muddy green liquid, another had a mixture of green and yellow, and the purple crystal relic goo on 2 of the vats had tiny purple-black hair growing out of them. The remaining 2 vats had clear green liquid with no change. Fang Yuan snorted. Most of these 6 purple crystal relic goo had been tampered with. With his 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan was able to conjecture something wrong with these relic goo. Among the purple crystal relic goo in these 6 vats of green liquid, only 2 could be used. Fang Yuan immediately took out the 2 purple crystal relic goo from the clear green liquid and used them. Using 2 relic goo, Fang Yuan's cultivation immediately rose to rank 5 upper stage realm. Fang Yuan again took out 2 purple crystal relic goo whose bodies were filled with tiny hairs, and repeatedly used them. The 2 relic goo strength combined, and was able to raise his cultivation to rank 5 peak stage. In a short period of time, Fang Yuan advanced from rank 5 initial stage to rank 5 peak stage, completing an enormous jump. Moreover, relic goo had no side effects and would not cause his foundation to weaken. Gu Master's cultivation was extremely focused on resources. As long as there were enough resources, cultivation could make rapid progress. Theoretically, as long as one had sufficient relic goo, a Gu Master's cultivation could advance in a lightning speed. But in reality, extremely few Gu Masters did this. One reason was that relic goo could only raise a Gu Master's cultivation by a small realm. Every great realm required the Gu Masters to break through by themselves. It was extremely easy to raise cultivation with enough relic goo, but this would instead cause normal Gu Masters to be reliant on them, and breaking through a great realm would become much harder. Second, higher realm did not represent everything. To survive in this cruel world, one still needed planning, wisdom, opportunity, experience, and training. A sudden increase in strength without the knowledge to control it was like an infant brandishing a broadsword that could injure somebody and injure themselves. Third, relic goo were extremely expensive. Few Gu Masters could enjoy advancing so lavishly. Even if a Gu Immortal's descendants could enjoy such treatment, their elders would not allow them to be so spoiled. Finally, there was an even more important point, and that was aptitude. Without good aptitude, relic goo would have no use even if there were more of it. Fang Yuan could smoothly advance to rank 5 because of his experience and also the great help from a great aptitude. Fang Yuan might be the only one who could use relic goo like this repeatedly to sharply raise his cultivation. If it were other rank 5 Gu Masters, even if they were geniuses from the Shang House clan, they would still have to follow the prescribed order. After all, a Gu Master's cultivation still required long training of Gu worms. High cultivation could not directly indicate the battle strength. It was no more than making oneself look like a fat target. Previous life experiences were Fang Yuan's great wealth that allowed him to smoothly control this burst of strength, unknowingly. A night had already passed while dashing through the cultivation levels. Fang Yuan walked out of Dang Hun Palace and onto Dang Han Mountain. Just like he expected, many gutsgu had grown on the mountain rocks. He walked a few steps and crouched, casually kneading one, but it was only a pile of yellow mud. Even since Dang Hun Mountain was struck by immortal goo gruel mud, it gradually began to die and a part of the gutsgu created on it would become yellow paste. Fang Yuan's expression did not change as he had already expected this. He again pinched 7 to 8 guts goo, but in this process, he only got 2 good guts goo. Using their strength, his wolfman soul slightly strengthened once more. The immortal goo gruel mud strength has already invaded deep. I remember that 4 to 5 guts goo would be intact out of 10. Now, only 3 or 4 are good. Fang Yuan sighed. Although these yellow mud were all gruel mud and could be sold at Treasure Yellow Heaven, but compared to the guts goo, the difference in worth was as different as night and day, and was an enormous loss. Fortunately, all these guts goo belonged to Fang Yuan alone. Although 6 or 7 out of 10 guts goo were useless, with their enormous numbers it was still enough for Fang Yuan's soul to progress greatly. Now, I am at rank 5 peak stage, and the next step would be to attack the Goo Immortal Realm. But this matter is quite difficult, and I need many preparations and attempt it slowly. Fang Yuan inwardly planned. With rank 5 peak stage aperture, Spring-Autumn Cicada's pressure had greatly resolved. The urgent matter was to rescue Dang Hun Mountain, though Dang Hun Mountain was dying. Saving it would be a great help to Fang Yuan's future cultivation, even after he advanced to Goo Immortal Realm. After completely cleaning off all the guts goo on the mountain, Fang Yuan entered Dang Hun Palace again and collaborated with Little Hu Immortal to activate Connecting Heaven Goo Wave. After waves of divine sense were mutually tangling up in Treasure Yellow Heaven, just after they opened Connecting Heaven Goo, a large divine sense rush was transmitted to Little Hu Immortal, asking about the price of gruel mud. Fang Yuan had sold great amounts of gruel mud, and this attracted many Goo Immortals' interest. Using these gruel mud for the immortal goo recipe, one could refine the immortal goo gruel mud. Although this goo could only be used once, it was a genuine immortal goo. In this environment where immortal goo were scarce, Goo Immortals scrabbled madly for Fang Yuan's gruel mud.as for these gruel mud. Fang Yuan's price was immortal goo gruel mud's recipe. Originally, these Goo Immortals brought incomparably damaged remnant recipes that did not have even 10 feet of treasure light. But after a few days, the recipes these Goo Immortals brought out had already reached a treasure light of 30 to 40 feet. Fang Yuan still kept on disregarding them. He had large amounts of gruel mud to sell. In fact, none of the gruel mud recipes that appeared nowadays could satisfy him.